Hello and welcome to the fabled comeback of the Castalog. As always, this is me, Mostrino, and this is my voice.
Yo, I'm Adam.
I'm Golden Tate.
Hello, I am Jame.
Hello, I'm Knowlege and I'm your Saskatchewan homeboy.
What's up? It's fucking Juno.
Hi, this is SK Rogue Real Joshua Hunt or whatever. It's my voice.
What's up? This is Swögga, also known as EXO, also known as EXO Ranks.
Yep. So,
Go.
as you guys probably know, it's been a very, very long time since the last Castalog episode. And if you watch some of the previous ones, you'd know that we usually talk about like the recent releases, we do some throwbacks and whatnot. But we thought since it's been such a while for today, we should just take at least one episode to just go over the big events that have happened since the last time we've been together. So that's what today is all about. We've got a lot of stuff to cover.
Silk.
Silk, that's kind of important.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Silk
That is pretty
acquisition.
important.
It's kind of
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, because I remember we were talking about in the like towards the end of the past few Castalog episodes, we were talking about, okay, there's probably going to be like a Silk collaboration compilation that's pretty cool. Yeah. We're excited for that, but then it's like, nope, we're just getting the whole label.
Yeah, I don't think anyone saw that coming. Just full acquisition of Silk.
Yeah.
Monster Cat, you are now mine, Silk.
So true.
So how do you guys feel about that?
Freaking assimilated Silk.
I think Silk's a good move for the label because I think Progressive House has always had like not really a good place to stay between the two sub labels.
Yeah.
So I think this is
Eddie,
bringing in like a new niche that hasn't really been filled.
True. It does feel like they're treating it more like a sub label rather than a brand, because instead of kind of separating based on sound, they're more so just, you know, it's still kind of Silk in a lot of ways aside from Miles to Go.
Yeah,
But
it's mostly the same artist as before, so it's
not a lot of cross.
It's kind of a missed opportunity, I think, because if they put like Solo Wind on Uncaged or something, I feel like it would have
Or
been
like
a lot.
Cloud None on Silk.
And you had a bit more overlap with all the sub labels like that.
Yeah, there are definitely a few missed opportunities, but it's all in all been a very good thing.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about them upping the releases per week to 6 now with a double release on Friday?
Honestly, I feel like it's great.
I will lose track briefly, but then I'll just take one day to catch up.
I kind of feel like with 6 releases now a week, kind of depreciates the value of like fewer releases, making it like less hype, I guess. Or at least for me, I found that.
True, you can't really appreciate individual releases as much because there are so many of them.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Kind of quantity over quality.
So usually how I've been approaching it recently is that whenever Silk was first acquired, I used to just listen to everything as it came out, but as of recently, that's just kind of hard to like keep up with all the time. So
Yeah, I
I've kind
really
of
get
just
that.
like been keeping up with the releases I actually care about, and then taking a day, like a week later, to catch up.
Exactly.
I think it works for me because I'll wake up like every day and there'll be a new song that's up. It's like just like first thing in the morning I'll put it on, even if it's terrible sometimes.
I feel like I don't have.
My drinks on me.
Ooh, that's a controversial one.
No, that's a good song. You're
I
joking,
mean, the
right?
first drop is kind of.
I don't have enough time in what I do with my current life to just go out and
really good.
listening to enough song. I mean, it sounds really dumb, but to just listen to one song a day, a new song a day. So, like, it sounds really dumb, like I said, but I'll wait, because I don't want to. I have a shit ton of time at work, but my speakers at work are dog shit. I literally have a left speaker, and that's it. So like, if there's something that is right side specific, it doesn't really come out in a song. Like, I've tried my best to balance it, but it don't work well. So I'll just take one day, a couple weeks later or so, and just binge listen to everything. Just like, I'll wake up really early in the morning, binge listen to everything, and then get on with my normal day.
So for those of you guys who think that the 6 releases is a bit much, what would you have proposed to get the Silk tracks in? Like, how many releases? How would you spread them out and whatnot?
I don't think there's a a better way to do it.
Not really.
Yeah.
The way that I originally was thinking of it was that there would be still 2 Uncaged, 2 Instinct, but then just have the Silk on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then maybe another Silk release on Saturday, just so you can have Sunday as the off day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't know what the release schedule was before, right?
Actually, the release schedule before was Wednesday and Friday.
Okay.
Oh.
Well,
What
Yeah, that
gamers?
makes sense.
Monster Cat is a bunch of gamers.
so they didn't actually change anything.
Yeah.
Monster
No.
Cat Silk gaming music. Can't wait for meeting Molly on Cage.
Meeting Molly.
Like, if they didn't rename the YouTube channel to Monster Cat Silk, I bet there would still be some Silk fans who wouldn't know that anything happened, because the schedule would be the exact same.
Actually, yeah.
Aside from the Cascade tune releasing, that would probably be, something that they'd notice.
And then the
They would've
cover
been like, who
art's
the fuck
changing
is this?
too.
True.
Yeah, the visualizer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, new visualizer.
Oh yeah, how do you guys feel about that?
I actually really like the new visualizer, but
It's a fine
Well, the
visualizer, but it doesn't compare to the old, like, the one since,
The
like,
old one's
last year.
iconic.
Yeah, this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
I just think they should make some of the visuals better. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like,
they were trying
Silk
to
cover
emphasize
art.
the visuals by making the
Yeah.
bars smaller, but it doesn't feel like the visuals are any better.
Like the first instinct with the new visualizer, I think was fixed by Grant and Ron, and the
That's just like a
visuals for that
picture.
song were just like blurry, and that's it.
But
I don't know
Especially
if you guys ever noticed on Clarity by Bad Computer, the 5 bars in like the middle, like they don't work or something.
and then Butterfly Effect VIP had the same thing.
oh great.
It's pretty funny though.
Banger.
Yeah, they've only been doing it for like what, 8 years?
Yeah. They're still getting the hang
Some
of
of
it.
the visuals, like
Dude, doing
more
your
to
job
give
is tough.
drinks on me is like that. The visuals for that track is just like a 2-second GIF loop,
Mhm.
Exactly.
and like barely anything moves in the frame as well.
Yeah.
Would you guys have preferred it if they only did background visuals and no no spectrum?
Would not have preferred that.
No,
No.
like
I think the spectrum is too big of a part of the branding
Yeah.
for them to
Mhm.
completely drop
Yeah.
it.
Definitely.
See, and Ophelia already kind of does that, where it just has the cover art as
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
animation, and then
It's
it
kinda
has like the
boring.
flashes with the bass.
And
Yeah,
because the
the flashes
flashes
are
they aren't
lame.
really timed or whatever. That kind of like takes away from it. It's just like kind of. The artworks are cool, but the effects are pretty standard for that reason.
Yeah. But their lyric videos are pretty good, I'll admit.
Yeah, if they did more stuff like the background for like Sleepless, like that would still be like an interesting
Yeah.
step outside of like
Because
the
the
usual.
visuals for High
Yeah.
Caliber are worse than the ones for More to Give.
We got to get more background visuals like the ones in Let Go. That would be some quality.
Actually,
No,
wait,
no, they should sign the Let Go Insane remix Good Times Ahead Tony Romero Gang of 2020 like to receive
Like, just the
oxygen.
oxygen.
Real. So speaking of them, we were talking about them bumping the releases up. Speaking of them bumping stuff up, we've got now that the number of tracks per compilation is approaching infinity. It's like a limit mathematical equation that we're trying to solve here. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't like it.
I feel like they should really just stop at this point.
Yeah.
40 was too much.
Like
50 is seriously pushing it, and I don't know, I don't know when the heck
Subsidy
UV
11
11 is dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I when this
30,
ever dropping.
Yeah.
30 was enough.
Right.
40 was a lot.
Just stop.
The Monster Cat ranking will die.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Joke's on you, I'm gonna finally start switching to monthlies.
What do you guys think was Monster Cat's reasoning behind this? If you guys have, any clue, any
I
ideas
think
at
it's
all?
I think it's because it doesn't matter anymore because comps aren't the main reason people are listening to Monster Cat anymore.
Yeah.
I think people are just generally keeping up more with the single releases. Comps don't really serve a purpose anymore, so they just figured, whatever, we can put it off, and then we'll just throw on as many songs as we want because it's like
Mainly
it
just-
doesn't care
Mhm.
because like
What do you
everyone
have
here,
those
I can
things on
guarantee
the-
you, like we don't listen to comps unless we're ranking them.
Mhm.
Yeah, true.
And they're kind of having Silk conform to that too, with the spring selections being the last
Oh,
compilation, and that was
yeah,
all
that's
That's
new
so
music.
sad. That's so
Yeah.
sad.
So now
I
there's
feel
yeah,
like
wait, what was up?
that spring selections was the last Silk selections comp, and that one was all new music. That was their Silk's format was
Yeah.
putting compilations
Yeah.
with new music in them, but now they're kind of making them move to Monster Cat's format where it's all previously released music.
I feel like after the numbered comps, because they had like a kind of story with the numbered comps,
With the
like
artworks
cover
and-
arts.
Yeah.
But like after the numbered comps ended, there's just really no point anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was good to like keep track of when a song was released. In a
Yeah.
way.
I agree with that.
Like plus or
never
minus
was, like, too
the
much.
first or the last few, but it was a good way to keep track of when a song was released.
It's kind of just me, but a lot of like some certain comps like O23 and Uncaged 2, they really like just particularly remind me of like summer or some other time or like something like that. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, because you can say something like this is an O23 era song, but if you're saying that this is a UV11 era song, that covers the span of like 3 years. So that doesn't really say anything.
Yeah.
I feel like comps, like Monster Cat comps, are kind of pointless because it's all like older releases. There's almost no new stuff except on the first Uncaged. I feel like it would be interesting if they did more comps with like newer stuff, or even something like Advent or Create Together by Bitbird, where it's like new artists which are just now signing to Monster Cat and just making a small comp.
Yeah.
For that would be interesting, honestly, because
Which, let's be honest, I mean, Monster Cat pretty much signs a new artist every week at this point.
True. There's like so many artists that are getting like denied, and maybe it could be like a little spotlight for the ones that are like really, really small and couldn't get an actual release.
Yeah. I feel like this is why the old Rocket League comps worked, because they were all new music and they were
True.
relatively short.
Especially, like, I really like the first one, how it basically just dropped, like, what?
Boom.
Yeah.
It dropped like
13
11,
new
12
tracks
songs
in a
or
day,
so.
Yeah, that was great.
At one time, that was cool.
Yeah.
I
And
think-
I would say it's more
yeah,
memorable than
after-
many of these newer comps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't like a certain number of those songs, they're still considerably memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like what they started doing in 2019, where they just sort of like there'll be a track and they'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is on Rocket League.
Oh yeah.
That was
lamer.
That, yeah.
That was like just really sporadic.
But
and
the whole
Yeah.
Rocket League
Like Savior.
radio thing is so stupid, honestly.
the only situation in I like that was fucking Radical Summer, which was weird
True.
because they picked just weird songs from that were like really old.
Yeah, it was an interesting idea because it brought back songs that were like not in the spotlight at all, like
Yeah.
Televised
And
with Neon
Metropolis.
or
Or Dads in
Yeah,
Space.
like
Yeah, Neon.
Neon Metropolis.
Yeah, Eon Metropolis, that's it. Wasn't If I Could on that one?
Yeah, it
it
was.
was.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a very random
Yeah.
selection of songs.
Man.
Yeah, that was Tut Tut Child's
I'm
last
sorry.
release on the label. Never to be seen
Sad.
from on here again.
He's not dead, but rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going out on a bang.
Yeah, that song is like
It's
the
true.
best that song.
Although it doesn't really feel like Tut Tut
Not
Child though. So it's
It
a
was
weird one to
very
end off
different,
on.
but
A
it was
little bit.
also very, very good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it feels kind of like him, like with the synth work. That feels
Yeah, some
pretty
of the
distinctly
synths
his.
remind me of Breathe.
It's very different, but also very Tut Tut
Yeah,
Child.
it's definitely his best track on the
Jesus.
label, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's up there for me.
And then
I
Force,
still-
that was kind of nice, and then the new EP that he dropped like last year was just not good.
They don't feel like him. They feel more like Force Not, but
Yeah,
I thought they
Yeah.
were all right.
that's what I thought.
Haven't listened to it.
Yeah, we gotta get Forest Not on Silk. Big 2021 comeback.
I'd be down. Like weird side aliases, like World's Miru alias. That would fit Silk.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or what about Sapient Dream?
Isn't that?
And the
Yeah,
guy who left Kuro
maybe.
to do House and Trance. I haven't heard his music, but I'd imagine
Yeah,
that it would
Jordan
work.
Post.
Jordan
That'd be
Post.
good.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
The guy who the other half of Kiro who
Who
left
left,
the
yeah.
project last
Oh
year.
yeah,
do
Jordan
his-
Post.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
Oh.
What was his old alias? Juventa?
Yeah,
That was
Juventa.
like
I think.
future bass
Juventa.
stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I thought it was
and
like
then
progressive
Hans-
house and trance.
So I mean that would work. Again, I haven't actually heard his music, but judging on that, I would imagine that it would at least somewhat work.
I've heard like
Yeah.
two, but I think he's signed to. Is he signed to Engine?
I think he's signed to
or is he
Injuna.
signed to
Injuna.
Enhanced?
I think it's
I
in
think it's
June.
Anjuna.
Right
Yeah.
now, Jordan Post on in June.
I mean,
this never happened.
I would not be surprised if they've played him on one of the Silk showcase or the Silk podcast at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Like I found out that they played the Inktome and Punker collab on one of the episodes, which was just nuts.
What?
Yeah.
Ink Tone
Conqueror?
Conqueror?
Yeah.
What?
The only Inktomen punker song I know is like real hard.
Yeah, I believe. I don't know if they have multiple collabs, but I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, I was really surprised to see that they played that on Silk Showcase because, yeah, but
What
that was
song
cool.
is that?
Let me double check. Yeah, Punker and Inktome Rogue Machine. Played on Silk Showcase, which is actually wild. So if that gets played, I would definitely not be surprised if Jordan Post has been played on there as well.
Yeah.
Especially because they play a lot of Injuna on the show anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That actually would be cool if Jordan Post got signed to Silk, because then we would have like sort of the new Kiro, like split up both on the label.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
All right. Let me see.
Vendetta.
Yeah.
Wait, you went live? What?
Butterfly effect.
Why live?
It's gaming time.
Hey,
The visuals are
ruined.
I don't care if I'm not live. I'm tabbed out. I mean, I'm live.
I'm just looking through notable things.
I
that
guess
happened.
one notable thing that's pretty recent is the Pixel Terror Chime and Temanite collab that's been long
That was my
awaited.
birthday song. Such a pog song.
That was
Such a
really
pog
good.
song.
Massive.
Almost all of this song was available before it got released, so I feel like the hype because of that kind of died down for me.
No,
I hadn't heard any of it.
I avoided pretty much all of the spoilers up until like a week before the song actually
Yeah,
released.
that's a good thing
same.
to do.
Because I knew it was gonna be a big collab, and I'm like, all right, I don't want to ruin myself. I
Yeah.
don't want to ruin this for myself. And then it was coming on my birthday, so I'm like, definitely don't want to ruin this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
I've sort of done the like opposite with Crank Dead and Aesor, Fight the Feeling, but I'm still super excited for it to come out.
Oh, that
Damn, I
preview they
don't
played, it was so good. It was so good. Can't
I
wait for
haven't
it.
heard it, but I'm really
Speaking
excited.
of,
I think Crank That's releasing an EP soon or an album.
Yeah, I heard something
That would be
about that.
great.
Yeah,
I'm
because
hype.
That'd be
I'm
cool.
very hype.
there was something about Better Without You being like a title track of or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of
I'm
upcoming
less hype.
albums, Tony Romero.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I feel like VHS is a decent like
No, I
Yeah.
really
It's
like
decent.
that
first track
Yeah,
though.
it's decent,
Yeah.
but only decent.
I haven't listened to
I think-
VHS yet.
I
It's
think it's one of Tony's best on it, in my opinion. It's like really
I mean,
vibey.
in my opinion, that's
never-
not saying that much because at his best, we have like Heatwave and I Can't, which are decent, and then at worst, we get really boring tracks like Lover Us.
That
Oh,
is
so good.
best. You're talking about Lover
Yeah,
Us.
Us.
Yeah.
I don't know what was wrong with
Or-
you before.
My favorite track by him is still Let Go.
Let Go
Let
is
Go.
so good.
He doesn't.
Let Go is so good, bro.
He doesn't.
Started out on a track record that could have gone really like good or bad, but then with their next release, it just went really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hesitant about the Tony album because it could potentially have some good stuff, but I'm also anticipating some not great stuff.
I am anticipating it to be the definition of a 5 out of 10 album.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
It's gonna be
Isn't it-
really good.
There's an extended
That's
mix
gonna be
that's so
good.
good.
I hope there's gonna be some funky
There
stuff
is?
If
like
he,
the
if he makes
Parachute
anything
remix.
like his Parachute remix, it's gonna be
Yeah.
great. If he makes
I was
anything
gonna
more
say
like I
that.
Can't, it's probably gonna suck though.
I Can't is amazing. What are
I
you saying?
Can't was pretty
I'm
good.
not a
Yeah.
fan like
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
though.
it.
Well,
I think that
speaking-
Tony
yeah.
should just collab with Abstract more.
Oh,
Hmm.
true.
Because,
True.
I mean,
You're talking about
I'm
just,
gonna be.
like, no offense, but
I-
a better Tony.
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking
I think
about a
that-
consistent 8 artist.
we need
versus
Martin
a consistent,
Horger
like,
back on the
six
label, is what I
artists.
think.
True.
More pickle music.
True, Martin
8 artists.
Borger.
Please. 9.5.
I have an
I've heard,
idea.
I've heard exactly 2 songs from him. One of them was what was it? You
Ya
Think,
Think,
and that
yeah.
was You Think. The other one was
You
his
Think is
Apache
so
remix, and
good.
that was actually kind of good.
What if we get for
Speaking of the
10-year-old?
Apache remixes, oh my god, those were terrible. Yeah, they were bad.
10.
There were some really good ones, and then there was like really disappointing ones. Like the
Wait.
Matroda one was really disappointing. The
best
Varian
song.
one was really disappointing.
But then he had Tynan.
The best song.
oh,
of all
oh,
time.
Then you had Riot 10.
Green Crack Riot 10 remix.
Okay. No, but for real,
Riot
for real,
10
for
on
real,
Monster
there were
Cat,
some
man.
really good ones. Like
Right, 10 on
Tynan,
Monster
Clock
Cat,
Vice,
bro.
Cohen Sound,
There was also the Russian jump up like
Oh,
mafia.
yeah, I really like that remix. I
So
think.
much fun.
It doesn't take itself seriously at all, and I love it.
Yeah.
Music that is so stupid, it's funny. I love almost all music that's like that,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
most
Yeah,
of
true.
Gammer's music.
Speaking of
Like, Pack is
Gammer,
the prime example of one of them.
is
You.
I'm concerned that last summer remix is gonna get an actual release.
Oh my fucking god, it's
Oh,
hardstyle.
I
Yeah,
hope
it's
so.
hilarious. I love it.
I hope so. It's gonna
someone-
be
It's someone
one
If
of
it
the better
gets, if
remixes
it
ever.
gets an official release on Monster Cat, is probably, in my opinion, is gonna be literally the worst song they've ever signed.
Chance, bro.
It's really
I
bad.
have
Really?
heard
Last
this.
summer?
Can
The
someone
original?
please link it?
Yeah, move over 2011. We've got some new quality coming in.
We've got Gammer hardstyle. Move over.
Oh boy. Yeah,
All you
like
gotta say is you got Gammer hardstyle.
Bro Step Strikes Back, except it's a hardstyle VIP where it's the lead, but on with the Kongs as the drums.
That sounds
I don't
amazing.
know.
What are you talking
You
about?
mentioned a 10 out of 10 song.
That just sounds like you've made like a Must Die remix of it or something.
God, like oh yeah. Speaking of
Oh yeah,
hardstyle,
Crisis Vision.
Crisis
I listened to it. It was incredibly okay. Like besides the one or two like Sorrow Tech, like a lot of the main
Sorotech and
songs wasn't
Hellburst are
really
like the only two songs that I remotely
at
like.
all.
Like the
There
Okay,
wasn't
I
a
thought-
Manu
I
collab
thought it
that
was-
didn't sound like Manu.
It's one
Yeah.
great. It's one amazing thing that came out of Crisis Vision. It's that the Sonic posting about it finally ended.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that was so
But then there's
funny.
gonna be a
Thank God
deluxe
it's
and it's gonna
over.
post Knuckles EF.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
Crisis
God.
Vision. Crisis Vision was really good, but really disappointing in different ways. Cause like the Manu collab was super underwhelming,
Yeah.
but then like
The Onumi
the
one, too.
Onumi collab that pulled through, and
That
then
was good.
Lol OK, I hated it when it first came out, but then I re-listened to it on the album, and it's like, this is dumb, but this is kind of good. Like, I think it's an interesting track because
Yeah,
it's like really stupid. It's really stupid, but it grows on you like crazy.
And
then,
Lol
like,
OK
the-
was one of
I
the
think
better songs off
The
the
I
artist
think my
involved
only
is
good song is Don't Even Bother.
true.
It all still sucks though. Like it
Like,
really
Delete It
pissed me
All.
off.
I feel like that one's really polarizing. You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, this last summer.
Yeah, I get that.
It's
Oh,
just
I've never heard it.
I can't get into it. It's really loud. It's really abrasive. It's just not my thing.
I was gonna say, since we're on the topic of Never Say Die, we could say that Black Label is just not a thing anymore.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Rest in
yeah.
peace.
Crab,
Black
Rest
Label.
in
yeah,
Rip
Black
Black
Label
Label,
is
like-
gone.
Same. I didn't really follow it a lot, but it seemed like
That was
kind of
pretty sudden,
interesting
wasn't it?
last year.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very
Yeah.
sudden.
I feel like for all of Never Say Die, it was probably the best thing to do, so
Yeah.
they can just unify everything.
Yeah.
But
I don't think.
it still
I don't
sucks
think.
that Black Label is just gone now.
Yeah. But I feel like Black Label and Never Say Die are similar enough that they could just form the two together and it wouldn't make too big
Exactly.
of a
Yeah,
difference.
I didn't see the difference between Black Label and Never Say Die.
I think that's why they
Well,
closed it because the
that's
line was
funny.
getting blurred a lot.
From what I heard, there was a much more noticeable difference when it started.
Yeah, like Black
Yeah, that's
Label
likely.
was originally for like a lot of like rhythm or tear out, and then I think the like just normal label was just mainly just bros up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or at least
but
I
now
think that's
rhythm is,
like my
the big
general
trend.
understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of rhythm, Disciple,
That's true.
Disciple in
Disciple
general.
hasn't been doing
Oh,
too
yeah.
bad lately. Like
Disciples kind of had a redemption arc this year. They made some
Yeah.
really
It
good
started
melodic
with- It
signs.
started
Some
with
good stuff.
Afterlife. It kept on picking up with Tritone and Lumina, and then
Yeah.
those are the two big highlights for me.
The,
Yeah.
the Leo Tricks EP.
Yep.
And then there's the Among Us song.
Ah, yeah, the funny like
Pink
the-
Sus
the
99
funny-
Lives
sorry,
compilation
what?
album.
No.
Pink Sus.
Yeah, no, what about Phonon and via Amogus?
Oh, I
Ooh,
hate that.
that
I love
makes
the
sense.
song.
That's Among Us.
I think
hate that
I
I think every Among Us inspired electronic song of this year, like Blessed, followed shortly by Among Us, followed by the entirety of Pink is Sus.
Please
Oh,
stop.
yeah.
Why would
I
you
mean, I-
name your compilation?
You're scaring me.
Yeah.
That That's so.
Like, say what you want about Monster Cat's compilations, but you definitely can't compare them to 99 Lives, what they pulled there.
Exactly.
Monster
No, you
Cat
can't.
021 Pinkus.
I think what's more funny about Pinkus Us is that it was announced whenever Among Us was still a big thing, and then it got released like last month, and it's just like, all right, you're kind of late to the party.
Yeah.
Was
And then
was
what's
that
his
really
name?
awful track on Pinkus Us, the one that was
Oh,
in...
well,
I didn't even bother to listen to Pinkus Sauce,
I
to be
don't.
honest.
I tried
Was-
making a ranking video of Pinkus.
I said all of them.
I think there was 12 songs on that compilation.
it was a
I
small
liked 3. I liked 3
I
songs.
like none.
Yeah, Jake
I haven't even listened to
Millions,
it.
I Wanna See You Dead.
Oh, that
Oh,
one.
that was not a good one. That was not a
Actually,
good one.
Oh.
one of the worst songs I've heard this year.
Egregious.
Ever.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
There was a Rukoa song, and it's the best, but it's also the worst Rukoa song I've ever heard.
Floating, my beloved.
Oh yeah, floating. Floating is so good, but it
It's like
sounds
Puppet
so
House
much like
2.
old Puppet.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
second coming of Soft Spoken or Answers or something.
I should check that out if it's like old Puppet.
Yeah,
I miss
it
Old
really
Puppet.
sounds
Like
like old
House.
Puppet. It's a really good song, one of the best of the year, but it's also fallen off recently for me.
Can we move back to like albums or
Monster
what are the
Cat.
topics?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I was gonna bring up how, because we were talking about albums, I was gonna bring up how the Justin O album, you know, we got like 90 singles, and then when the actual
Right,
thing came
right.
out, it was 2 interludes,
Yeah, it's
and
like-
yeah.
Right.
Like I actually like a lot of the songs on there, but the rollout is probably the worst out of like
Yeah.
every album.
Yeah, and we
I
thought
mean-
the Muzz one was bad.
The rollout wasn't entirely his fault, though.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
feel like at that point, Justin O could have just released "She's a Killer" VIP and then just called it a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because remember when in Genesis were just really pointless.
Yeah, did the track even?
still
I mean, did the
think
album
they're
even have
both good.
transitions or
They're-
no?
Yeah,
Like-
they did. Genesis transitioned into
Into "Loving Her, Loving You," and then
Yes.
Oh.
remember this bridged the gap between "She's a Killer" and the VIP.
Oh, and did it transition or was it just in the middle?
I know Genesis transitioned, and I think "Remember This" transitioned into "She's a Killer" Part 2.
Okay.
Okay. Did any of the other tracks transition?
Yeah, the rest are just
I don't think
pointless.
so.
doesn't Don't Bring Me Down transition out of Loving Her, Loving You?
I don't know. I don't even
I-
hear the album in there.
I don't
I
think
should
I
remember this. I
haven't
literally
listened
listened
to
to it like earlier this morning.
Yeah, that's one of the things that kind of disappoints me a bit with albums is when they don't transition, because then it feels like they just threw the
Yeah.
tracks
Eh,
together with no real
I mean,
connection.
I mean, it's cool when it happens, but how often does it happen? Like, I feel like generally it doesn't happen all that much.
What was
I
the
think the only
last
one I can really
Yeah.
name off of like last year's was The Promised Land, like, and that was also
Wait, did
accompanied
that
by
change?
a
That wasn't
completely
even for
continual
most of the
rollout.
album.
Yeah.
That only happened like 3 times.
I mean,
or
of
something.
course we have We Are
Yeah.
Dust, so that one's
We Are
one.
Dust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Weird Dust,
Yeah.
Weird Dust, and Space
For-
Cadet are the only big
yeah.
examples I can think of.
No,
But yeah,
Right.
I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like, you know, an album's kind of... Because, you know, with an EP, you don't really have to be too, you know, particular with how the theming of it is. But I feel like an album's such a big project that it should have something to string the tracks together
Yeah.
rather than just
Yeah.
be a bunch
Yeah.
of music.
Agreed.
When you have 9 tracks in an album, and you release 6 of them as a single, it just deteriorates the
Yeah.
value of the
Yeah.
entire album.
Was
It's
that,
so
that
lame.
The Promised Land. When you release 8 of them as singles.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so
It's
lame.
like, I was saying,
You
like,
could
even
also-
when it comes to EPs, like transitioning, like those transitions
Yeah.
can still be done really well. Like, just look at Caught in the Race to Don't Say You're Sorry.
That is
Yeah,
true.
I mean, they can be done really well. I just, as a whole, I generally could care less about them.
I feel like we could also bring up the point of bad album rollouts for Butterfly Effect and the Deluxe.
Ooh.
And the
Oh, yeah.
acoustic.
Messy.
Dismal album
I will
rollout.
say, as a whole, I like Butterfly Effect. I'll be honest, I'm one of the few that generally really likes Butterfly Effect, but it was just kind of overblown
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Monster Cat.
Definitely.
Outside of three songs, Butterfly Effect was an extremely flat 5 out of 10 for me. And
Yeah.
both like remixes had 2 good ones, but somehow also managed to be an even flatter 5, and the acoustics are as much of a meh as you could get now.
Peak
Do not
mediocrity.
forget the gold remixes.
I liked the Bloom remix. I don't think I've listened to the other one.
It's
I honestly
boring
think
drum and
it's,
bass.
so
You're
don't
not
bother.
missing anything.
Fox's
Okay.
remix was nice, and Frankie's, like, that one slapped, but...
Franklin Nuts,
Just
my
really
beloved.
Franklin Nutsack.
Franklin Nutsack.
It was Frankie N and Oliver's. Well, I guess Oliver's number 1, Frankie N number 2, and then a bunch of tracks that were less good but also very good in their own.
I think I'm the only person on Earth who likes the Elon Bluestone remix.
All of
It's
the
probably like a
remixes were
third.
solid. Even
Oh.
the remixes that were not part of the quote-unquote remix package, I guess, they were, in my opinion, they were all solid.
Now, you want to know what remix I feel alone with? AMC.
That was a solid
AMC is
remix.
I was gonna say that I think the B Motion remix is pretty funny in the fact that there was absolutely no warning or announcement for it. It just came completely out of the blue.
Yeah.
I think it was a UKF exclusive.
Yeah,
it
but that
was
was like the
fun.
day before the remixes came out. So
Yeah.
I honestly feel like both of the gold remixes just didn't need to come out because
Yeah, there was like a
they both
remix.
they
well,
both
one of them
just
needed to
did
come
their
out for the
version.
remix contest, but
I'm
well,
surprised
actually,
they weren't-
technically, it wasn't going to come out at first because the original prizes was just like Butterfly Effect Deluxe merch. But then once they realized that no one was submitting because the prizes were so bad, they were like, okay, yeah, we'll give you a release.
I don't understand why they didn't like hold off on like putting. It's like they should have put them on the full album. Like I don't get why it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
their own release. Like
Yeah.
couldn't they have like held off for a bit, or did they just want it to be like, oh, we put it out a year after?
What
I
I
think it
don't
was for the
understand
year after.
is that like
Yeah.
when labels hold like remix competitions, the least you can do is just give it an official release.
Yeah.
They've become
Like the
super
NCS
inconsistent
one,
with them
bro.
now.
Like, you know, there
What-
were
what happened
Alice
with the
Orbit
Orbit?
remixes.
No copyright
Yeah,
sounds
there
plus.
It's annoying because there was a really, really good remix that won. That's
And then there
never
was
gonna be on
the
streaming services.
and then there was the Don't Say You're Sorry remix EP that's
Yeah.
That
SoundCloud
EP is
exclusive.
massive. It's so good. I'm
Yeah,
so
it's good.
disappointed it didn't
Yeah,
get
I
an
think
official
it's even
release.
better.
There was
The
a Don't
Doomu
Say You're
never had
Sorry.
remixes.
Never
Remix?
had, well,
Yeah.
honestly, Never Had was put like a bit mediocre to me.
I really like.
I thought they were fine. I just find
Yeah,
it strange
like,
how
it's not a bad-
the only one to get an official release was the Heroes remixes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The funny thing with the Heroes remixes is that when they were holding the contest, they didn't say they were going to release it. They just said your prize was Ableton Live, which we were laughing about because we were saying, you know, if you win the contest, you either already have Ableton Live or don't need it.
Oh my god.
But anyways, they did
Yeah,
this stream
and, like-
and they picked out a few remixes to pick the winner from. And they picked out the winner and they're like, yeah, this one won. And then like 6 months later, it's like, okay, why hasn't anything released yet? The winner remix hasn't even been released. And then out of nowhere, they release it on the label.
Yeah.
That was just,
It kind of
yeah.
sucks that the Heroes remixes got like little to no promotion.
I remember when the competition happened, Mostrino, I think we listened to some of them, and
Yes.
we found the Irons one in the submissions, and we're like, okay, this one's winning.
Yeah.
And then it happened like 6 months later, and it won. So congrats to Irons for getting
But yeah.
Ableton Live.
Yeah.
Basically, here's the thing, right?
Producer.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Irons, he wins the remix Irons wins the remix contest, right, for a label that has millions upon millions of listeners, right? And right now on Irons, you know, they shouted him out on SoundCloud and everything. His SoundCloud account, the official one, has 36 followers.
Wow.
That's
Like,
good,
that's
bro.
actually mind-boggling. How
You
being
have
on
more
such
followers
a
than him. That's
gargan,
crazy.
yeah,
Meanwhile, the label is giving Sex Squatch official releases.
Yeah.
Bro.
Not terrible, but like, say
He's
like
also
when I
not
use the
great.
term waste of space, there's either like so bad or so aggressively mediocre. Sasquatch is the latter. He just
Yeah.
doesn't bring anything new to the table.
He brings
I
the
would
saxophone to the table.
Not true.
Crab Rave
Actually,
saxophone
yeah.
cover for
Yeah.
10-year anniversary.
Oh god, that might happen.
Oh, Will won it.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they pulled that,
If we
to be
get
honest.
Sack Squatch on the 10-year anniversary, I don't know.
Marshmallow
It's
alone.
just why?
said,
Not-
"Don't
He was,
do
Bruh.
on, he was on the 9-year, it's not out of the question.
Oh,
I'm
True.
gonna say it will probably be the worst, but it would probably be the worst.
Yeah, but like, out of all the artists you could choose to represent the entire label's history, like
Don't
somebody like that
choose
over
someone
Haywire, like Haywire
as-
85, or somebody like.
Well,
why
I mean,
would you?
they've started teasing stuff, and so far they've said Rogue, they've said Nitro Fun, and they've said AU5 and Danica Nadeau. So like,
Yeah.
pretty good lineup so far.
Yeah, like those are
What, are you
iconic.
weird?
I'm thinking probably the most iconic of the artists that would still release on the label would be Pegboard Nerds. Because obviously
sure.
Tristram's not releasing
They
anymore.
will be there. There's
And,
no way
They will be.
A long-time artist, we got
And
PBN,
Bracken, I
and
guess, to an extent, but yeah.
Muzzy.
Bracken's. It's
PBN,
weird to
Rogue,
think
Muzzy,
Bracken is so iconic, but he was only on the label for like, what, 2
4
years?
songs.
Don't forget about the Alan Walker one.
God,
Oh, yeah.
then Bracken came back with.
Never mind, forgot about that. I think Pegboard Nerds is basically a shoe-in at this point because
It's a
they've been on
guarantee,
every
yeah.
anniversary comp. They've been here
Yeah.
since, what, 2012?
And they're one of the...
Yeah.
I feel like speaking of
Gunpoint VIP.
long-running Monster Cat artists that could get on 10-year-old anniversary, there's also Ifixa,
Yeah.
Faint,
Ooh, Ifixa,
and
Stephen Walking.
Stephen Walking.
There will probably be a Going
Yeah,
Quantum
those
track
exist.
on there.
Yeah, Going
Yeah.
Quantum's probably going to
Yeah.
show up.
Sasha Vibes
Stephen
single.
Hawking's on there.
Do we finally get the Going Quantum and Sasha Vibes collaboration nobody asked
They
for?
sucks.
No, like
I'm-
this,
no,
yeah, like
I'm
that,
asking
that
for it.
song, like that song, it's gonna be called "Can We All Agree on How Much of an Underrated Banger This Is?"
Stonebank will probably be on.
Stonebank's probably going to show up.
Just make a remix.
If
of
Stonebank
Stonebank
doesn't show up, that would be insane.
Okay,
Yeah.
as far as 10-year anniversary goes, how do you guys think, if at all, they're going to implement Silk into what they're doing?
The way
There'll
that
be-
I would say is that there might be like a Silk mega collab or two, but other than that, I really don't know.
A Silk mega collab that sounds like every other
Still be
Silk
any
song?
A mega collab would just be silly in not a good way. There
I'm-
would be less Silk than Uncaged Instinct, but I think there will be Silk.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
personally
That would be-
don't think
that'd be-
we're gonna Silk's like they've just been acquired this year. Like
That's
literally
true.
what, like 4 months ago? I don't
Yeah.
think
Mhm.
It's not
I
like
don't
a super
think-
huge part of the label's history.
Probably,
yeah,
like,
it's a
they'll
very
probably
recent part of
shout
the
out
label's
Silk
history.
On
And like the fan bases I think at this point are still pretty separate. So
Yeah.
I don't think putting Silk represent like it would be nice to see, but I personally don't think it would happen because I think it's more about the Monster Cat from like
Understandable.
the 9 years without Silk.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
this is
I
a
guess I get
very
that.
small portion of the label's history. So I think they're
Yeah.
focusing more on the classic stuff that the fan base is more familiar with.
I do
mean,
hope that they
we're
do
getting
that, though,
rogues.
because they never talk about the classics. They tend to, like, forget that it
Yeah.
existed. So I feel like this would be the
Or-
nice one time to kind of bring that up and, reminisce on that again.
I think that tweet about Dreams might have been the first time they've talked about 2012 since 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you all remember, but for Never Say Die's 10-year anniversary, they did like a VIP collection. I'm
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
that might be
Mhm.
what Monster Cat's doing.
I would still
Yeah.
really want to see more original stuff like on the 5-year
That's
anniversary.
true.
though.
Originals are much more interesting and much more exciting.
True.
Yeah.
I honestly just want like a 20 artist mega collab.
I mean,
like
I feel like-
Disciple mega collab levels.
See, the difference with that is all the Disciple artists kind of make music in the same area.
Can't
If we
wait for
get,
that
like,
Vice Tone X
Cloud9 and
Kuro.
Direct on the same song as like Boss Fighting
Right.
Kiro, that's not going to gel at all.
Yeah. Boss
I
fight will
really,
definitely be.
I'm praying that we get Direct, Cloud9, and Mr. Fiji Ouija on
And
a track
AK.
together for it.
Come on, we gotta get AK in there.
Oh yeah, okay.
Silly
yeah,
that there hasn't been yet.
And Matt Vaughn, please.
If Matt Van's on
Yes.
there, that's a bonus.
Can we get the Holly Drummond come back?
That's not a bonus. That's just like that just makes
That's
it infinitely
necessary.
better.
Why has there not been Cloud9 Ollie?
Actually, yeah, I just realized there hasn't been
Oh,
a Holly
yeah.
Drummond
Yeah,
appearance on the
uh,
label since Carry On. That was the last one in 2019.
Yeah.
It's been over 2 years.
Ollie Drummond is so good, and it's a shame that she hasn't been Cloud9.
And the other one
Yeah.
that hasn't appeared in 2 years, who used to appear all the time, because 2020 was their first year since, I believe, 2012, that they didn't appear once on the label, which is Laura Brem, and that was changed, was
Oh,
the last
yeah.
appearance.
Oh yeah.
Which is really weird to think
I
about.
don't remember
Yeah,
that
that is
song.
weird.
Besides, it was poor.
Yeah.
Nah, it was
Um,
good.
Good.
Remember
It
Caleb?
was way
Mhm.
too just
Oh.
boring.
Have we heard of the Arcturian
Excited.
song on the label? I don't think we
No,
have.
we haven't.
No,
That's
we
a
have
bit
not.
surprising.
The Arcturians are pretty good.
Although-
Like,
Yeah,
they're
they're
pretty
pretty
good.
decent.
Yeah.
Their collabs with Have are pretty good.
Yeah, the
Like,
only one was that they-
Max.
They did a feature on Cyan by Dion Timmer, but that wasn't on the
Yeah.
label.
And Companion.
That was a really good song.
Yeah,
Really,
Companion
really
was
good
pretty
song.
good. Probably the best song off of the
Oh,
Dion
yeah.
Timmer LP. It's the only one I can remember because that LP was really forgettable. His
Yeah.
melodic
Yeah.
stuff is so great, but he just
Yeah.
doesn't
Actually
do it
goated.
enough as he should.
Exactly.
And his,
Yeah.
I find his
True.
like bro step stuff is really like forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just diet like Excision or something like
Yeah.
speaking
Yeah.
of
I don't
Excision,
like Excision
Subsidia,
in the first place.
Subsidia.
there was
Subsidia.
a Dion Timmer EP on Subsidia. If,
I
if
don't like-
anyone
There was
remembers.
one song that was
I think
okay and
it's
everything
not-
else was
yeah.
really boring.
Yucky.
It's not
Yuki.
terrible, but at
We
least
have
it's
to
no
talk
Yuki.
about that.
It's not Yuki. Like any other Subsidia song, like hey, at least it's not Yuki.
I can,
Yeah,
I
honestly,
guarantee, you can't convince me otherwise that Yuki made the EP as a meme and then submitted it just to see if it would get released, and then it did. Because the promotion for it was like, they were saying that the EP was terrible. They knew how bad it
Yeah.
was.
I think personally that as far as Subsidia goes, like all the Night Dusk Dawn releases I don't care for at all, but
No.
like all the the EPs and the albums are generally like not very good, but they're at least like listenable.
Like the Wales
Yeah.
LP was not good, but like they've had a couple decent releases. Like the who is it? Yetep, his EP was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah, Tep's
on.
EP was
It is-
so good.
Yeah, that's
Speaking
the
of
shiny
Wales, what are you
piece
guys
up on
thinking of
waistband that
the
is Subsidia.
debut that now Wales has debuted a single on the label?
I thought
Oh
it
yeah,
was
true.
alright.
Not his
Wales
first
is
track.
so
remember,
good.
remember his Fowler remix?
Yeah,
that-
but it's his first
I
single.
think
Yeah,
anything-
like, the one other thing I heard from him like before Souvenir was Mayhem with like Temanite, and because it was a Temanite collab,
Banger.
I liked it a lot.
I've only heard Wales' Disciple stuff, and I don't like
When
it.
Whoever
Wales'
was-
disciple stuff are bangers.
Oh yeah, I remember when we were talking about Krill the Game in that EP. That was pretty funny. That was good
All I'm
times.
remember
saying
that.
is listen to the actual end of Dubstep, and that's a 10. That is a 12 out of 10 song. It's one of the
So
worst
true.
songs you will ever listen to.
Wait, so Wales
that makes
the
it so
end
good.
of dubstep. I'm gonna listen to this now.
No, it's not the end of Dubstep. It's the actual end of Dubstep.
The actual
Oh.
end of dubstep.
The
Yeah,
actual,
it
the definitive
was
version.
like a second version. Of
Reminds me of like Lil
So-
Hank, EDM's Last
it
Hope
is
Part
so
97.
bad.
EDM's
I love
last
it so
home.
much.
EDM's actual Last Hope final version 6 for real
not
this time.
clickbait.
Yeah.
Real. Thinking about cheese part 2.
Sex Squatch reminds me of Lil Hank, but I feel like Lil Hank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
both very
odd
gimmicky
to
artists.
get a-
Lil Hank,
But Lil
at
Hank was for
least
charity, that's the difference.
That's true.
I mean, yeah.
Sex Squatch is.
Sax Squatch
Yeah.
was
Not
just
interesting.
gimmick.
It's Sex Squatch is Sex Squatch.
He said saxophone and that's it.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Um,
saxophone's good, but like Sax Squatch saxophone is just boring as fuck.
I feel
Yeah, it's
like
just
if you're
bland.
if you're gonna put saxophone in a song, it shouldn't be the number one main element.
Yeah, do it like they did in Disappear. That has probably the best implementation of saxophone I've heard in an
True,
EDM
that's
track.
good. Also Vex, don't forget about Vex.
Shoots with Hawkins at like
Oh yeah, true. They had like a
at
full-on
Electro-
brass
like,
section for
Electro
that.
Swing. Like if you actually did that and just threw in some saxophone, but still kept it from being the main focus, that can still be like pretty good.
Yeah.
Something that I think we should talk about, because we haven't talked about this on Castalog before, and I know it's kind of old news, but it's still pretty big, is the remix week that they did at the end of last year.
Right, right.
Yeah. That was.
2017's VIP week is still the best thing they've done near the end of the year when it comes
I
to
have
remix.
I have mixed feelings on the remix exchange because some of them felt really rushed. Like the Protostar and Rogue remixes,
Yeah.
those felt
Oh,
incredibly
fucking
rushed.
Bob Rogue.
Don't even get me.
They gave him like a
Started
week's
on the
advance
remix.
notice.
Guys, come on, you're really
Yeah.
gonna do
They
real
were-
Joel Joshua Hunt
They were
dirty
all
like this?
unpaged as well. There was no instinct representation there at all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 That's
I
right.
just think it's crazy that you have something like the Rattlesnake remix on the same sort of package as the Galaxies remix.
Yeah. like there were some good ones, like artists who are consistently good and who release kind of frequently did well, like Stonebank,
The
EU5,
Five.
easily the winner. But then like
EU5 is
Pegboard
real
Nerds and
good.
Infected Mushroom I think did a decent job. I can forgive the bro step part. It wasn't that
I
atrocious.
can't.
But then in fact, they did it again on the Shroomies EP, and it
True.
didn't work just as well.
Janky bro step drops, like.
I don't think this style works well with bro step.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like with slow, like 140, 135 dubstep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rogue remix isn't amazing, but it is overhated, and I will defend that until the day I die.
Okay, I'll give it this. His vocals are kind of decent. It just feels like 2015 Trap Nation type production.
It literally, the
Drums,
entire song feels like a fucking splice loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I'll take it over like putting drum and bass drums over Us Against the World.
Oh,
Yeah, you
so
remember like the
good.
good part about Us Against the World was the
Yeah.
banging fucking drops, and then it's just
Yeah.
bland drum and bass.
And do you
And it's
guys
kinda
want to
going
talk
off
about the
beat,
Darren
but
Styles
David
remix?
Spector's vocals are.
Every
I
single
honestly-
remix of that was utterly disappointing.
I honestly can't
Yeah.
tell which
Every
one was
single-
lazier, the Snowblind remix or the Us Against the World remix.
Us
They're
Against
both,
the
like,
World,
equally
easy.
lazy.
The Snowblind one at least like changes the melody a little bit.
It makes it worse.
More than Us Against the World one did.
It has the same exact synth style, and
Like-
it's just like
That's
such a generic, like hardcore, like bass and drums.
Why did they choose that one to start it off with?
Like,
I
I'm-
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I feel like the Snowblind remix
It
would have
is
been
fucking
significantly more enjoyable if he
sidetracked.
didn't change the melody.
Going on a tangent, like the original Hero, that's one of the epitomes of gamer music on the label,
Yeah.
but I still
Yeah.
really like it for that
Yeah.
exact reason.
I hate the
It's,
original Hero.
I find it a bit weird that Hero had a couple remixes and Snowblind had a whole package. Speaking of which, why didn't that get released? That package is really good.
Yeah.
Wait, there
Like
was
Silent was
Snowblind
there,
remixes?
Fractal was there, like Prismatic was there
Mhm.
before he
Was
started getting
Noise
kind of
Storm-
big.
Was Noise Storm there too?
That
No,
was a
Noise
demo.
Storm is
That was a
yeah.
demo.
I don't think
That
that
didn't get
has
released.
ever been released, and that was
Which
probably
pack-
started
which
years
package?
after that remix E EP.
I've
Yeah.
literally never heard of the Snowblind remixes EP in my life.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the excellent remix.
they're really good,
Yeah, that's
especially
solid.
the Xylem and Fractal ones.
That was the first time I heard of excellent or Silent, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
XLNT.
Excellent.
TM.
I've never heard someone pronounce it like that.
Same.
Nah, it's part of the whenever they were teasing
Just
Assembled.
like,
Oh yeah, in the
XLNT
beginning of the
or
music
something.
video.
Okay, I was gonna say.
But that was not them saying silent. That was them saying actually like XLNT. You know.
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought you said excellent or silent. I was like, how have you never heard that? Those
Hmm.
are the only two options.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one of them's wrong.
So something else. This is kind of a small thing, but I feel like it would be kind of fun to mention is that now this year we've gotten a new shortest and longest track on the label. The longest obviously being that 20-minute deep dive Silk track, and then the shortest one being that Bad Computer interlude that's 19 seconds long.
Wait, what is
Internet
this
Love
song?
Wait, what was the longest song?
Give me a second. It's Gravity Assists track Deep Dive, and it is 21 minutes and 27 seconds long.
Hell yeah.
Is that in the
That's
back
that's in the
catalog, or was that?
Yeah,
was
Silk
that a
back
release?
catalog.
Yeah, sorry,
Oh,
Wuxia, you're
okay, okay,
gone.
okay.
You're gone.
Yeah, I don't understand why that Bad Computer interlude exists because
True.
it doesn't transition
Yeah,
into Paradise. It
exactly.
just feels like an extended outro to Your Spell.
Like, it's
Yeah,
cool, but it doesn't work in context, you know?
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah,
certified
I
bad
feel like
computer.
it literally only works in context of the EP. Like if you
Yeah.
you throw that song into a playlist and then you hear it, it's like, well, that was an interesting 19 seconds, but like it
Yeah.
doesn't provide
No,
anything.
dance, bro.
But I feel like it
That is
doesn't work in the
literally
context of the
pointless.
EP either, just because, like Adam said, it doesn't go into Paradise.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
if it
was-
did
that
that,
was
if
Yeah.
it did that, I'd give it a bit more
But-
lenience, but
Yeah.
it doesn't, and it just feels like a
Yeah,
missed
it's not even a
opportunity.
clean transition.
Extended outro to Your
Yeah.
Spell.
Yeah, because the thing is
Other than
that
that,
I don't
other
know.
than
If,
that, I think that's the only stain on a basically flawless E EP.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if you guys remember the transition, but Internet Love 2010, it basically just cuts out because the intro to Paradise fades in. So the transition
Oh yeah,
is
it
just
did that.
ending.
That was weird.
Oh yeah.
It fakes you out. It makes
Yeah.
you think it's gonna do it, and then it doesn't.
Yeah. Because it doesn't. If it would at least fade out, that wouldn't be great. But I feel like it would be less abrupt than what actually happened.
Yeah.
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 Just imagine if Paradise started at the drop, and then it would have actually been like a clean transition.
Yeah, probably.
That EP was like Paradise and a few other tracks.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
that was the EP.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Paradise was
And it's, yeah.
Paradise
was-
is amazing.
Paradise
Mhm.
was great, but like there's so many tracks that I thought was better in the terms of what would have been UC11.
Yeah.
But like
Your spell?
Destroy Me, Somewhere New, like Somewhere New felt like an intro or just like a song that was unfinished.
What?
It felt like, especially in the case of Bad Computer, it felt unfinished. It was just way too short.
I disagree. I think it's
Yeah.
I
probably
also-
one of the computer's best
I
tracks
gotta
to date.
disagree on that.
I really like.
Okay,
I mean, it
as
is
somebody
short, but yeah.
Who is a Bad Computer, not hater. Like I'm obviously I'm not a hater. I
A
don't
bad
hate
computer skeptic.
Yeah, I'll take that. A Bad Computer skeptic. like-
yeah.
It feels like an unfinished track. It was short and it felt too. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It felt too quick for itself. I guess not like speed wise, but like start to finish, it just started and ended too quick.
Okay, I can kind of see that. I can kind of see that. It is the short. It is under 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is
Bad
that the
Com-
shortest Bad Computer song besides the intermission?
Maybe.
definitely he
It's the shortest Bad Computer song,
Yeah, it
at
would
least on
be.
Monster Cat.
Okay.
longest
Going
one
back to
was-
the topic of albums, the Vendetta and Shingo albums, like
Ooh, can we talk about those?
Vendetta
Let's start with the
album-
Vendetta one because it came out
Best
first.
album on the label, easily.
What?
top 3 easily.
I don't know, like
So good.
Vendetta, they're a refreshing signing. Like they do like have a pretty cool, unique sound that I can respect. But there wasn't anything in that album that I went crazy over. It's just like
Yeah, I agree with
consistently,
that.
like,
It was a very solid
Everything.
album.
It sucks that this album has like so not a lot of streams.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
no streams whatsoever.
And the Skin music video people were so mad about that.
People
It
got
was literally
mad
just a
over
photo
it.
shoot. It was a lame
Yeah,
music
it's like,
video,
you
but
would-
it
It was a
didn't
lame
deserve
music
hate.
video.
Basically, you could have gotten mad at the better music video for the same reason, and that
Yeah.
like
Yeah, but at least they were cloned.
Yeah.
At least the better
True.
music video
True.
didn't go at like 5 frames per second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say
It was basically stop motion at that
Funny
point.
shit.
I was saying I think I cringed at some of the Skin music video, but it wasn't like straight up bad. It was
Yeah.
it was alright. Like I said, it's just a photo shoot. Like, I mean, okay.
I guess as someone who didn't actually like view the music videos, just listened to the music. The music was so good.
Which one do
It
you
was
think?
so
Yeah.
good. It was so refreshing. It was so good.
Yeah, it was
As-
a very
as
refreshing
someone-
album.
As someone who, I'll be honest, I'm not an R&B fan like at all. And for like multiple R&B/R&B-ish songs, for me to just really love, it was weird, but in a great way.
shout out to the vocal
Yeah.
chops and Good For Me that sound like they're saying sus.
No,
Good For Me
ruined.
is so good. Good For Me is so good.
There's not
Good for
I
me,
don't think
you.
there's a single song on the album I don't like.
Yeah, it's like
Everything
yeah,
is
it's just
good.
a little repetitive.
The only one that I find weak, besides the interlude, is Amethyst.
But Amethyst is like 6 minutes.
Amethyst is my
Yeah.
favorite.
So
I really liked Amethyst. It
Surprised?
felt very refreshing.
Yeah,
long time.
everyone talking about how One Time is the worst song on that album, and I disagree.
Nah, One Time
Yeah,
is
One
no,
Time
no
is-
way.
First or second,
Yeah.
One Time is very good.
easy.
I feel like
Yeah.
if there was one song on that album that I feel like I hyped up a little bit more than everyone else is Try Me.
Try Me.
I'd like
really
Try
Try Me
Me.
is really good.
Sometimes it's just that the instrumentals are solid, the vocals are nice, but then like sometimes it just some part of it repeats a bit too much.
I'll say this. I
Yeah.
feel like it's a pretty good song as like a candidate to make a flip of.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Try Me.
Nah, I I actually because I think that in the quote unquote drops, it's literally just synths. But
Yeah.
I feel like it conveys the emotion of the song so much better if there was an actual drop.
That is
So
true.
true.
I
That's really
think it's as a song itself, it's really good. It fits in the album really good. It's just very different,
Yeah.
and
It works
that's
well as
why
an
it
outro.
fits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I think
exactly.
it works better
Yeah.
as an outro. Like after the context of the album, I think it works better as an outro than as a standalone song.
Because it feels I said it in the video I made for it. It feels triumphant. It feels like an actual ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can get that vibe at least. Like,
Although I do think having Union as the intro was a weird choice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Union as
yeah,
the intro felt
that
kind of
was-
weird.
Like 6 feet.
A
would've
choice.
worked as an intro.
6 feet would have been a better intro.
I honestly kind of expected Union to be the intro to the album just because of like take like the first 30 seconds of Union and think of how slow the volume just rises.
That is
Yeah, that's
okay.
true.
Okay, I get that.
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
I had an interesting thought about the album. I was
Yeah?
listening to Skin, and I was noticing it really reminded me of Brand New Phone by Ellis.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this whole album felt like a really strange sign for Monster Cat because it
Yeah.
feels like a big shift in tone for Instinct, and I feel like that was kind of paved the way by Recollection Perspective, because that showed there was kind of a demand for more like R&B funk inspired music to be on the label. So I
Yeah.
feel like if that
If
wasn't
this
such a
is
fan
what-
favorite, I don't think we would have got this album
Yeah.
signed.
I feel like the acquisition of Silk has probably helped Instinct out a lot.
I feel like as of late, the house has gotten better. Like there have been a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
really solid house
Broadening out
signings,
a bit,
like
I'll be
Deep End,
honest.
Then,
Kirby.
yes.
Mhm.
Name one bad house song on the label. You can't. You just
I
can't.
mean, you
Probably
pretty-
could.
you actually
46
can.
slide.
You can't like.
Good
post
times ahead, so good.
2012.
Collide Charity Strike.
True.
crash
well,
it next.
There's like a forgettable. Like we don't talk about that one. There's certain songs we don't talk about.
You know what type of like house we should talk about though?
What?
Remix either.
All of Glow, like such a good
Oh
album.
yeah, Glow. Can we
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
that?
Glow.
Very good album.
I felt like Glow was basically like 9 times the same song.
I
Because,
agree.
like, Silk has a lot of like organic house type stuff, and I feel like that's kind of the reason why I feel like the sub label is so repetitive.
I absolutely love that type of sound, and when you execute it as well as somebody like Shingo, it's like I
Yeah.
loved it from the
Yeah.
get-go.
Shingo's executing this at a very high caliber.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
He's like probably leading in quality in terms of like how well
Yeah.
his tracks are made. Like
Yeah,
behind,
for
like,
Silk,
really-
for
Probably,
Silk,
the
he's
most
definitely like
technically
a top tier
impressive
artist.
Silk.
I have never really been too impressed by any of his stuff, any of his house stuff at least so far. So I wouldn't put him near the top. I'd probably, Oddsen is probably someone that's more up there for me as far as Silk House goes.
Yeah, well, the difference is
Bound
you've
to
been
Divine,
through some
like
of the
everyone.
backlog and we haven't, so.
And AMR has been. I mean, I didn't really like the
Yeah,
new one,
both- yeah,
but his
both
album is
songs
full
are
of
good,
bangers.
great.
Those are,
They're so good.
yeah.
Just
But
me
Shingo
personally,
Nakamura
like,
hasn't really done it for me so far.
I've heard people say like really good things about AMR and like
Mhm.
Oddsen, and some people I've heard praising Meeting Molly a lot, but
Yeah, Meeting Molly
if
has
they
not
haven't-
been too hot this year, but before there's some fire. Trust me.
I think he's decent, but I think there are artists that are doing better. Like I think Prof has been doing better. I think Shingo's been doing better. I
Oh
think
my.
Vintage and Morelli's been doing better.
Oh yeah, who's excited for that Vintage and Morelli album?
Me, I'm very excited. Every song so
Oh,
far
yeah.
has been great.
There
Dreamers
has
was
not.
great. Dreamers was great. Valley of Hope was great, and Away is amazing.
Yes.
There has
Yeah.
not been a like even close to like not good Silk release
Yeah.
since
Silk
Yeah,
is
that's
probably
true.
the
It's been
most
required.
like middling of the two sub-labels because their
everything-
highs aren't as high, but their lows are much higher than the other two
Yeah.
sub-labels.
Yes,
They're only
exactly.
gonna get down to like at least 5 out of 10, maybe even a
Yeah.
high 4 on a bad day, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
The worst
Yeah,
it's gotten for me was the 40 Cats
Oh, 40 Cats was
double
good.
release, and that
40
and
Cats.
that was only a
40
5 out of
Cats
10.
are
I just didn't
Mhm.
think it was super interesting.
Yeah,
If-
I haven't
if
disliked
it-
any of the
yeah,
Silk
exactly.
tunes that I've
If-
heard yet. Like
If anything,
even
I'm
yeah.
like, Moss, you.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like even because I was going in for M Catalog and putting these songs, and I was going back and listening to some of their first stuff from like 2008, and a lot of it has held up much better than Monster Cat's early stuff. Like a lot of the house and a lot of like the chill stuff, it
Mostly just
ages
'cause
really
the
well.
scene is older. The genre has been refined over a lot of time, so it's kind of hit its apex a little bit.
Monster Cat's early stuff just holds up
Fairly
terribly.
speaking,
I
like
think, because
to be fair,
dubstep
like,
as a genre
the
doesn't
house
age very
stage is
well.
better than, like,
Name
dubstep in general.
one thing that doesn't hold up.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Name one song that doesn't hold up.
All of
Cynical rock
01.
and roll, hello, outside
You
this
got me.
world,
Even
Obsession,
Walking
You got me.
Walkers.
if you
Android,
say outside this
Walkers,
world-
Motions, arguably
alright.
Snake Eyes, but more formless. I could go on.
Dubstep killed rock and roll, the force still walking.
Oh, United, let's not forget United.
Some
Hey,
wobbles, like
United,
motion
you
right
just
now,
said
quote,
a
quote,
10 out of
obsession,
10.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Sorry, I
Say it
can't.
once more so the back of the class can hear you.
Sorry, I cannot say that again.
Alright.
Okay.
Him where he spoke the truth.
I'll be honest, there's a good amount of songs from 2011, 2012 that just through sheer nostalgia, I love the hell out of.
Alright, that's fair.
Like
I have a
the
couple from around
anthem,
there.
You should hate
like
move.
the
I could
anthem
despise
is
move.
legitimately one of my top, like 50 favorite songs in Monster Cat history. The anthem is.
The
I
anthem
love it
is good, but it hasn't
so much.
aged super well. I want to like it,
love
I really
that
do, but it's
song
just
so much.
not.
It's such a
aged super
weird
well.
collab though. Like a fix of Project 46 and
It is,
Variant, you would never think would
At the
work.
time, really weird collab.
It is a bizarre collab. I just want P46 to come back, cause it would be
Yeah,
dumb
we
because
got,
P.
we
No
got
offense, but
half of them
P46
last year
sucks
with
now.
Loki.
Yeah, that's
so-
true.
Don't remind me of that remix.
That's such a good. That's the second or first,
It's
second
like-
best remix because Poe's remix.
Okay, for real though, Initiate Remix, mega underrated.
Yes, so base.
Uh,
I was excited to see more from Initiate, but there hasn't been anything.
Okay, so what about
Yeah.
Although I disagree that it's underrated because I know from like all the videos I've seen it's always been number one. So I'm not saying that it's bad or anything, but I do think that it's getting a lot of the appreciation that it deserves.
Yeah.
So
I
the
still think
one other
Eliminate
thing,
is
since
the best.
we're moving
Yeah,
towards the
sure.
close of this episode, and I do think that there's still quite a few things that we should cover that we haven't yet, so we can just do that next time. But the one thing that I do think we should talk about here, I think it would be a great way to close off this comeback episode, is of course Good Times Ahead track So Good.
My birthday release, my birthday release.
My least favorite song on the label in a good long while.
You're
Oh, yeah, for
lying.
sure.
You're lying. I'm
Honestly,
sorry to
it's
say. I'm sorry to
overrated.
say you're lying, but you're
Like,
lying.
I get that some people could see like that it's so funny that it's bad. I have not come around to it for that reason. It's
Yeah,
just
me
that, like,
neither.
I listened to it
was-
first. I went, "What the hell is this?" on like first listen, and then my opinion on it has never changed. Like, and
So
it's not
good,
a-
more like
it's
so
not a good
bad,
song.
lol dab.
You're funny.
It's like if Stonebags Let You Down and Fools Safe are two of the songs that fit their song titles the most, then So Good is the polar opposite of that.
Yeah. I didn't
my
even
God, that's
think
kinda
about
true.
safe.
That is
Yeah.
a very safe song.
Did
Yeah.
indeed play
I
it
didn't think
safe.
about that.
I don't know. I can't remember a single thing about safe.
It's
Yeah.
full synthwave
It's
with
just
some
boring.
track
Because I
drums.
know, I don't remember who, but someone was saying that they listened to, I don't remember what the guy's name was, like Placey Jones or something, that they listened to his discography, and Safe was like by far his best song, which really worries me.
Yikes.
The one thing I will say about So Good, though, is that I think the cover is definitely a huge step up from Let Go, so that at least
is
has that
true.
going for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It-
true.
I saw a weird argument some people were making that Bleu Clair has been getting a lot of praise in the community because it's a style of bass house that's really refreshing and hasn't really been explored too much. But then So
Clair
Good comes out,
is
and
so
a lot of
good.
people were saying like we're drawing similarities, and I just don't see it.
No, I
It
don't.
feels
They're-
like
they're not
it feels
similar.
like it's missing everything that makes Bleu Clair's bass house great. Like like his melodies, his sound design are just really off the wall and wacky, and that's what makes them fun. But it just feels like So Good is like sucked all the life out of that.
Like
It's
So Good,
like-
it lacks energy. It feels excessively random, and a lot of the leads, like it tries to sound like this song that doesn't take itself too seriously, but even then, it manages to annoy me.
You've done something wrong when I like that Carnage House song more.
When you like Botnet Kingdom more?
Honestly, So Good it just tries to be like too many things. Like there's so many things going on and nothing sticks.
I'll be honest. I like So Good, but it's not good. But
Honestly,
I
I
love
feel-
it at the same time. Like it's very bad, but I like it.
I feel like I could describe So Good as a computer having a stroke. That's what it reminds me of.
So,
Yeah, but
Accurate.
but in actuality, like people like Blue Claire and Drinks on Me, like they like I don't love a lot of their stuff, but they have like had some hits in it. Like Hit List actually grew on me a lot.
I don't know if you guys are gonna agree with me on this one, but the one song that I will say Blue Claire kind of reminds me of Blue Claire's style is actually Flip Reset.
A little bit.
Very
I kind of see
I
it.
like number
It
one.
doesn't sound a lot like Hit List, but I will say that it does sound like it's more similar to the tempo.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a
I
little
see
bit.
it. I see it.
Stop for a minute.
I just think the tempo.
And I'm
is
guessing
the
Hit
main
List was
basis
more of
every
Drinks
bit,
on,
every
like-
way.
True.
Judging
And
from
I'm
like,
also willing to guess that the lead in Hit List was a bit more of Drinks on Me, like the second drop of High Caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Caliber, very good.
Although
Yeah,
Drinks
I
on Me is a
know,
very
like-
confusing artist because they
Yeah.
dropped Hit List and then they dropped More to Give, which was on the completely other side, and then they went back again.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're gonna make
listen-
bass house, but then we're gonna play garage, and then nope, we're going back to bass house. What you thought? Next Drinks on Me song is gonna be Rhythm. Just you wait.
Next one's gonna be like Liquid Drum and Bass.
No. The next Drinks on Me release is gonna be Slap House. Like it's just gonna be Slap House.
The next Drinks on Me
Brightest
release is
Side
gonna be on
remix.
Silk.
It's gonna be
How do we
Brighter
not
Side
forget
remix.
Brightest
Let's
Side?
go.
I get those goosebumps every
We
time.
went the entire episode without talking about Brighter Side. I think we only
That's
mentioned
true.
Brooks
No,
one.
no.
That's a good song.
I do
guess
think we
I
need to
wanted
talk
to get
about.
fired
We need to
up.
save that one for next week, unfortunately.
I think we should
Because
save it for
we
next
are-
week.
Alright.
Yeah, we're basically at the end here. So really quick, any last comments that you want to guys say that you
I
guys
just
want to
feel
say?
so
Sorry,
good right now.
Parapilson is the worst EP on Monster Cat in a goddamn while.
Which one?
Which one?
Mazare Parapilson.
Oh yeah, no.
I have
Paracosm.
one last thing to say. Your mom sucked me good through my jorts.